Um, Hi, my name's Joseph Gechter. I go to EHS. I'm a senior. Um, I wrestle. I play football. I'm in the culinary club. I like in my free time. I like to play video games and go hiking, as well as listen to a lot of music. I try to really broaden my horizons as a music listener, I guess. I also like working out. It's a great way to relieve stress and just exert a lot of energy. With my personality type, I was an INTJ. And as an introvert, I knew I was an introvert. I feel like I would like to be more extroverted as a person, but my mind just doesn't allow it, because after a long time, like say in public, or like I really don't like to go out to any places, and once I get back home, I can just kind of slow down and just make a cool down to my day, and that feels really good. Intuitive, I think this is based on the way I perceive and think of things. I really go to stuff more logically instead of reacting off emotion and off whim. I was a T, which is thinking. Again, it goes back to being rational, and I think most of my rationality and the way my thinking process goes is because of my mom. Me and my mom are polar opposites. She likes to make weekend vacations and plan it that Friday, and I'm really not about that. So I think she's really why I think so rationally, and that's not a bad thing. She can live that kind of way if she wants. But and the J was for judging. I'm more of a think and feel person instead of a I think this ties in with T as well. I think more, and I try to empathize with people and think of what they're doing before I respond. I always try to think before I speak, because if you don't think before you speak, you can really say the wrong thing. The connections I made with my mind map, is that what we would call it?
Or Wise Wondering Sheet.
Wise Wondering Sheet. I had a big flag of Colorado and Tennessee on the top, and I was born in Denver. I was kind of raised there, and then I was brought to Tennessee, and that's where I stay now. But about half my family is in Colorado, and some are in Virginia and some are in Georgia. But I feel like being from Colorado makes me kind of different, because I wasn't always raised around the thick Southern accents and the really good home cooking. And then I had a cutting board and knife in the middle. Then I had a football and wrestling mat at the bottom. Then I had mountains on the bottom left. And I think those all tie into being just creativity, because in the culinary world you can really experiment with a lot of things, and most of the time it'll taste really weird, but sometimes you'll hit the nail on the head, and that's what you always try to aim for. And then with wrestling is not a set thing that you do. Like, there's not like a number one, number two, number three thing to do. It's not like linear. It's more of a reaction sport, and I think that's why I like it so much, is because you can be creative and play off of what your opponent does. And then for creativity with the mountains, I don't think it's more of me being creative. I think it's just seeing how creative God was, and how beautiful he can make things. And then simplicity also ties in with football and culinary and mountains as well. Because in culinary, if you add too much stuff to something, it can ruin it, and you can kind of regret adding one thing because, per se, it was good before, and you wanted it to be better, but maybe simple was good. Yeah. And with the vocational search, my best option was it was a midwife, and so I didn't know what that was. And then I asked Mr. Sire, and he said that was the people that deliver babies, and I don't really like babies, so he said gynecologist, which was all right. I haven't given much thought into it. I like being able to talk to people and help them. So I feel like a gynecologist could probably do that because they handle some of the most sensitive topics. Again, just being able to to listen to people and hear their problems and get be there for them to vent would probably be, I think it's really satisfying to me to just be a shoulder to lean on for a person. And what I learned from this week, I feel like I narrowed my search just a little bit, and I feel like if I can just keep on narrowing it every week, that'll be really good for me. I know that I want to better the world just a little bit with whatever career I choose, whether it be a gynecologist or a midwife or like a park ranger. But yeah, that's what I learned this week.
All right, good job. So you're very close, very close. Excellent work. So Joseph's pace was really good. I think you took some advice from me yesterday, and instead of getting that 1.5 speed, you went down to 1.0, which is good. So you want a conversational pace because it puts your audience at ease. Sometimes you don't want your audience at ease. If you want your audience excited, you might speak faster to try to generate that excitement. But then if you want your audience to be relaxed and to listen, then you might want to take a more measured pace. And so moderate your speech depending on what reaction you're trying to get.